Again, I'm gone for like a week, maybe two, and everything goes to hell. We're on the road to Victory Road at the Gym Pack Zone. Here, we're going over every title picture, every championship decision. So much happened tonight, and it's not even the go-home show. We're going to get into it. Let's talk about it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Fake. We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody. I'm James Gisanti. It's Thursday night where we cover wrestling, and specifically, we cover TNA wrestling. So the Mark It Down podcast turns into the Gym Pack Zone. Guys, I'm going to ask you now to bear with me. You're going to hear it in a second. I am not feeling all that well. I got a scratchy throat. I'm very tired. I'm doing my best to stay here with you, let you know that I care about you and that I appreciate you for caring about me. So if you hear me cough, if you see me hacking up a lung, proceed with caution. But thank you for being here. Guys, we are on the road to Victory Road and bound for glory. TNA right now, firing on all cylinders. We'll get into how I feel, about who's overshadowing who's in charge of who, whatever. You might like it, you might not like it. It doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is TNA is doing a lot right now. A lot of their product is fun to watch. And that's all that matters. Having fun watching the product. I'm a mark. Sometimes I overwhelm myself thinking about things that I have no control over, but I can control whether or not how I react to the product, how I enjoy the product, and I enjoyed the product tonight. What up, Fernando? Thank you for joining me here tonight. I hope you're having a good one yourself. Bear with me, as you guys know, when I'm here by myself in the Gym Pack Zone, I got to do everything. I got to be my own producer boy. I got to be my own guy doing stuff technologically. And boy, is that tough. Fernando, I completely agree with you, though. Impact was lots of fun. They had so many title implications, so many stories moved forward, and quite frankly, one of the best TV matches I think I've seen all year, no matter the company. We're going to get into it. But while I'm setting up, I got to deal with all the socials while I'm talking to you guys. Let's get started with the night where we had Moose of the System taking on AJ Francis. Now, the System has sort of been embroiled in gang war for a while now. Granted, again, I missed last week, and I caught a little bit of the week before. It's been a busy time as we're getting out of summer. But they're fighting a war on multiple fronts right now, between First Class, between Mustafa Ali and Order 4, and just coming off of their big battle with NXT and trying to defend TNA. The System has to be running ragged. They're already a man down because of JDC being taken out. Not quite what I said, Matt. Not quite what I said. But we might not have had that war, but we definitely had a meat war, as these two big old meaty men, Moose and AJ Francis, absolutely laid into one another. This was a hard-hitting, big old slap fest, a big old hoss fight between these two behemoths. And I was eating it up. Delicious. Both men absolutely just drag out, hitting their stuff, fighting hard, fighting heavy, fighting big, and it's oh yeah, slapping that meat, slapping the meat. But both of these guys, sorry, told you guys I'm not feeling too well. Both of these guys just, they don't fight just like big men. It's hard to explain because, make no mistake, they're hitting those big old moves. They're hitting the big old spears. They're hitting choke slams. They're hitting big dropping moves, but they move so quick for guys their size. Tom Hannafin spoke about it. Both of these guys, former football players. And I know there tends to be a stigma amongst wrestling fans when it comes to former football players who make the jump to wrestling. But these are two guys who absolutely transitioned beautifully and took the skills they got from the football field and make it work in the wrestling ring. I think absolutely they wrestle like football players, and I mean that as a compliment. The big factor of the match wasn't Godzilla versus King Kong. It was Mothra on the side, and by Mothra, I mean Mustafa Ali. Mustafa came out before the match started and joined the commentary table. He had, of course, his security, his Secret Service guys with him, one who came down to ringside with him while the rest were up at the top. And that's where everything sort of degenerated. After AJ Francis hits a big spear onto Moose, and Moose gets up and is starting to stir, that's when Mustafa sends out one of his guys to distract the referee. Mustafa goes in to hit Moose with a big drop kick, but misses and hits Francis. He then scampers out of the ring very awkwardly, and this gives Moose the opportunity to hit a massive spear. 1, 2, 3. That's it. The System gets their first W of the night. Moose, hi Maria, how are you? Thank you for joining us here tonight at the pod. I've already warned everyone else, so I'll warn you. I'm not feeling too well, if I'm going to be very honest with everybody, but I'm doing my best. And thank you for being here. It's given me the energy to power through. Just finishing up the social media stuff. I should have did that a little while ago, but we do what we do. There you go. See, all done. That was easy, quick, painless, and mostly stress-free. You know, I mean, I'm always a little stressed. It's wrestling. Don't worry, Maria. I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll live, hopefully. You never know. Moose is awesome. Yeah, like, look, Moose is Mr. TNA. Always has, like, he has been waving that flag proudly for years. He has been on his soapbox with the megaphone, chanting and raving for TNA. And quite frankly, TNA acknowledges that. They acknowledge who Moose is to this company. So no matter how you may feel about him outside the ring, he is an excellent performer who proudly represents TNA. And that needs to be applauded. After the match, though, Moose then grabs a mic and challenges Mustafa Ali to a match at Victory Road, saying enough is enough. Quite frankly, I'm excited for this one. This is... We had seen Moose wrestle X Division guys and thrive in that environment. And Mustafa, obviously a former X Division champion himself, is so much more than just an X Division guy. He has been scratching and clawing, trying to reach that main event picture, trying to reach that next level. And this is going to be a great match for both guys. I think both men are really going to show up for this, and it's going to be fun come Victory Road. We then transition backstage where the System are watching and applauding their teammate, their leader, Moose. The System are then joined by Gia Miller, who is asking them basically for a sit rep on how everything's going, as they are going to be in the main event later, taking on the Nemeth brothers. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, they talk, like I mentioned, they're a man down. They miss JDC, but when he comes back, they're going to be fully formed and they're going to be unstoppable. And it doesn't matter what the Order 4 is up to. They are going to be there to stop them. And it's interesting, it's interesting cheering for these guys. It almost feels wrong in a way. But they've really been bringing it in the babyface department, so I'm not going to complain too much. Moving on, after we get back, I believe, from the commercial break, it's always hard with the TNA app to really, with TNA Plus, to know where everything lands. But we enter the treehouse with the Rascals, a returning Trey Miguel, who is all healed up from his hernia issues. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Who is back, reunited with Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed, who joked, why did it take so long for him to be able to jump into the treehouse? And very humorously, Zach and Trey say, because of The Office. Some real world stuff there, it seems, but they made it very playful. As all three men are supposed to be in a match later in the night, a fatal four-way with Jake Something to determine the number one contender for Leon Slater's X Division Championship, these men are planning. They're deciding what's going to happen. Who should go for the X Division Championship? Should it be Trey Miguel, who has a long history with the X Division Championship? Should it be Zachary Wentz, who is made history by bringing the X Division Championship to a WWE event? Or should it be Myron Reed, who clearly has the most to prove? Either way, all three men light him up. They're getting ready for the match later, and this was a fun segment. I really think this trio has something special. I know Myron Reed has really been with them for a long time, but really, if you're only watching the Rascals, or if you're only familiar with the Rascals on TNA television, this is new to see Myron be a part of this. Really, all that was just on the indies. So it's really cool to see all of them interacting. In a perfect world somewhere, Wesley was a part of this as well. But it's really cool to see these three going at it, these three having so much fun, and yet also all determined to win. They're not, whatever happens, happens. It's like, no, we all want to win, but we're all rooting for each other too. So I thought that was a really cool segment. Maria saying she thinks the Rascals are going to win the tag team championships with Miguel. I wouldn't be shocked. So we're going to get into the tag team title situation a little bit later, because that kind of had to do with the main event, and it seems very precarious as we're getting not necessarily to Victory Road, but Bound for Glory. So time will tell. But I do think that, yes, some form of the Rascals are probably going to win the tag title sooner than later. And quite frankly, they've been killing it. So in my opinion, they've earned it. Moving on, we had what was supposed to be a different match. We were supposed to have Joe Hendry taking on Eric Young. But Eric Young comes out and says that it's not going to go the way Joe thinks. Instead, there's Travis Williams attacking Joe Hendry from behind and getting the quick upper hand early in the matchup. TNA commentary said that the match was made official right beforehand. Joe Hendry had no idea. That seems ridiculous to me. It seems super silly to say, yeah, TNA management decided to change things. We're just not going to tell one of the performers. They'll find out when he's out there. But other than that, kind of lapse in logic, other than that kind of eye-rolling, storytelling, this sort of served an interesting purpose. Hendry was on the defensive a little bit as Eric Young and Judas Icarus, the rest of the Northern Armory, Travis's team, were taking liberties with Hendry outside the ring until the ref finally caught them and throws them out and putting the match in Hendry's favor. After this, Hendry essentially makes quick work of Travis Williams, hits a standing ovation, gets the 1, 2, 3, and is smart enough to get out of the ring as soon as possible before Eric Young and Judas Icarus come back. Eric Young is irate, furious that this happened, furious that in his mission to cleanse TNA, his men have failed him. So he gets ready to hit a pile driver onto Travis Williams before he's stopped by Judas Icarus. Young gets in Icarus's face and tells him, "You do it. You hit him. You put him down." As Travis is begging his longtime tag team partner to not attack him, Icarus hesitates, turns towards Young, and Young drops him with a big elbow. He then hits a pile driver onto Williams, then hits the pile driver onto Icarus, and then I think hits one more pile driver onto Williams. Eric Young has completely lost it. His mission to cleanse TNA seems to be starting with his own team. Whether or not this is the end of this team and Young is going off solo, or he just now has two victims as teammates, we'll find out next week. But very interesting development. Young is always very creative, and I like Williams and Icarus. I do, but I do think that they need more personality on their own. I think they need a little bit more of a hook for fans to care. So maybe this will be the way we get there. Like I said, time will tell. We then go over into, this was cringy, guys. This was really cringy. I think it was meant to be cringy. So I'm going to give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. We had Victoria Crawford's podcast, Mentor You, I believe is what she called it. And she brings out her first guest, who didn't know she was going to be her first guest, Gia Miller. Victoria says that she's been watching and admiring Gia for a while now. She can't wait to talk to her. Gia plays along, goes up the ramp and on the stage, where Victoria confronts her about Gia keeping someone at home against their will, where they can't work, where they can't make any money, and they can't be free. Gia's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not keeping anybody prisoner." Victoria quickly says she knew she'd say that, and of course she means Tessa Blanchard. Tessa, who was suspended after attacking Gia Miller at Slammiversary. Gia says that the only person responsible for Tessa Blanchard's predicament is Tessa Blanchard. Victoria just keeps on blathering a little bit, getting confrontational with Gia before Gia says, as far as she's concerned, Victoria is just as much to blame for what happened to her at Slammiversary. Out comes Jody Threat to interrupt the proceedings, and Victoria Crawford, sorry, you're hearing my cat right now, scratching away. Victoria Crawford leaves, and I'm going to be fair here. I like the concept of this, but I think the delivery is where people are going to have trouble. Victoria Crawford, formerly known as Alicia Fox, is typically a comedic character, and she was very clearly playing things up for laughs here. Her delivery on most of her lines were very silly. Her delivery for most of her interactions, her dialogue was very enunciated in funny ways. And either she was struggling or she was overdoing it. But I could see that some people are going to have trouble with this. I enjoyed it. Anything that involves Gia Miller, you've got my eyes, you've got my ears, you've got everything. So I was in for that. I like Victoria Crawford. I loved her as Alicia Fox. I thought she was a very underrated talent who never really was highlighted on her own. So I'm happy to see her doing things here now. But this felt like a little off. I maybe I'm just being overly sensitive to it, that I wanted it to do well, so I'm being a little critical. But something felt a little off. That said, I'm happy Jody Threat seems to be doing things now that the Danny Luna breakup is over and is official. So let's see how this moves forward. Either way, the takeaway here is Tessa Blanchard will clearly be back very soon. So Yay. Moving forward, we had match of the night, match of maybe the week, and maybe one of my favorite TV matches of the year. This fatal four-way for the X Division #1 contender spot was incredible. It saw, like I said before, Jake Something take on every member of the Rascals, Myron Reed, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz. And my goodness, did all four men show up and show off. Wowza. Well, we got a comment here. Hi, Tyler. How are you, Tyler? Thank you for joining us tonight here in the JPEG Zone at Mark You Down. I hope you enjoyed TNA tonight. If you didn't and you're just checking us out to know if you should check out the show, you came in at a great time because, again, quite frankly, this fatal four-way was next level awesome. We've talked at length here on the pod before about Jake Something and how it's unfortunate that he never really found a spot to thrive. He was the big man in the X Division where he was doing well, but that spot went to Moose, who is on such a bigger stage and is on such a higher level that Something couldn't be that anymore. He had that short run tag team title, tag team reign. My goodness, guys, I'm so sorry. That short-term tag team with Hammerstone that unfortunately just fell apart because both men got injured at different times. And now multiple shots at the international title, failed shots at the international title. I get worried for Something. So seeing him back going for the X Division title or trying to go back for the X Division title was welcome because he fits so well in this division against these fast-paced guys. And all three members of the Rascals brought it. This match started as a handicap match by all intents and purposes. Tyler, was this on the YouTube channel? Unfortunately, I don't think TNA is doing anything on YouTube anymore unless it's international. If you want to watch TNA, you could watch them on Access Television, or you can watch them on TNA Plus. Very well run app. They really give you a lot for your monthly subscription. You get one of their, you get like one of their lesser, or not lesser, but smaller pay-per-view events, one of their smaller PLEs, and you get your weekly impacts. So if you're looking to start watching TNA, that's where to go. My cat is absolutely going to cause chaos, and you're going to see me crash out a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. But like I said, hey, mama. This match started as a glorified handicap match. It was all three members of the Rascals brought the fight to Jake. They took turns drop kicking him. They took turns hurricanranaing him. They threw him out the ring, finally putting him down after multiple tope suicidas, one after another, and then finally all three at once. I was terrified when I saw this spot. Guys, we typically don't go move for move anymore when we cover matches here on the pod, just because we don't want to bore you guys. Like, if you watched it, you know what happened. But there were so many fun spots in this matchup that I want to talk about every second of it. After finally getting rid of Something, we finally see the Rascals go back and forth themselves. Multiple pin attempts, multiple fake outs for possible 2-on-1 situations. But quite frankly, all three men were going at it. It looked like at one bit, Wentz thought that Miguel would team with him against Myron Reed, but then Trey attacked Wentz. It was beautifully played until Something came back. And my God, there was this one great spot where I don't remember who it was. It might have been Miguel went for a hurricanrana, and Something rolls around with it and holds him and picks him up for a powerbomb spot, only to then get hurricanranaed again by, I think it was Wentz, where both men hurricanranaed him at once. It was so crazy. The finish of the match coming after something put down multiple members of the Rascals, hitting a huge black hole slam. Looking at you, Abyss. Wentz goes for his springboard cutter where he bounces off the ropes and drops something. As he goes for the pin, Trey pulls him out. He tries going for the pin, but Wentz keeps him at bay. And this gives Myron Reed just enough time to hit a springboard 450, gets the 1-2-3, pinning Jake something. Guys, I cannot overstate this enough. I cannot urge you guys enough. If you're going to watch one match this week from TNA, this is the match to watch. If you're going to watch one match on TV at all this week, this might still be the one match to watch. This was absolutely incredible. I look at this trio, I see the Rascals, and quite frankly, my God, they are just perfect. You could put them, I think, in any company, and they would thrive, whether it's WWE, TNA, obviously, AEW, no matter where they are. I think they get over because they are so fun and they are so good. So now Myron Reed will be facing Leon Slater, who was on commentary for this matchup at Victory Road. I don't foresee a Myron Reed upset, but it would be cool. And if this is going to be maybe the dynamic, Myron Reed goes for the singles stuff and Trey and Zachary go for the tag titles, I don't think anyone's going to complain. And I think Marie is right. I could see it happening. Who knows? Yeah, Fernando saying this was a great match, and I agree. It absolutely was a great match. And Maria saying that was an amazing spot. I believe that was for the topes. Yeah. Guys, please go watch the highlights for this match if you can't watch the match itself. If I'm TNA, I am uploading this match to YouTube and putting as many eyes on it as possible. It was fantastic. Just great, fun wrestling. Enough marking out, though, from me. Moving on, we then go backstage. Oh, if the banner comes up, there you go. Where Jake Something, who's frustrated after his loss, is walking in the back, and where he is confronted by Kazarian. Kazarian just sort of busts his chops a little bit, but he also says he wants to give him some advice. Something should be so much more. He's not just some big heavyweight. He's not just some big hard hitter. He could be so much more if he just allows himself to realize that. Kazarian says that he will be TNA World Champion, and soon enough he will also be the International Champion. And he wants to see good things for Jake Something as well. He wants to see something be something. So, interesting. Something has gone back and forth between being a face, being a heel a lot in the last 2 years. A lot because I feel like they truly don't know what to do with him. I would just love to see an actually unhinged, angry Something just tear through opponents. But hopefully those plans come to fruition, whatever they may be. I'll take a quick second before we move over to the next segment. Tyler saying, I don't want TKO to buy TNA for now. Maybe next year TKO should buy TNA. And if everything's good for TNA, get a TV deal and a streaming deal. My issue with WWE going to ESPN, but I love TNA Plus like WWE Network. Look, I've made it very clear, and Tyler, please, I'm glad that you have feelings on this, but I'm going to be real with mine as well, and it's something I've been consistent with here on the pod. I dread the notion of WWE buying TNA. As it is, I'm not really thrilled with their working relationship now. I feel it's very one-sided, and I feel that it's very detrimental to the future of TNA. And I say that as someone who's loved TNA throughout the decades since its inception and have been rooting for TNA to at one point be the number 2 company, at this point the number 3 company, maybe, probably. I've always loved that TNA was an alternative. I've always loved that TNA was its own entity with its own identity. And if WWE buys TNA, one, I'm not thrilled with it in the monopoly sense that I don't want one company to be running as much as it is. Like, I hate that they bought AAA. I hate it. I hate it just because I like these companies having different identities and not all subscribing to the WWE method, which I'm not even critiquing. I'm not critiquing the WWE method. It's just, I like variety. I like different flavors. When I go to the ice cream shop, chocolate might be my favorite, but if I want strawberry, I want that option. But if everything tastes like chocolate, if everything tastes vanilla, not everyone's going to be happy. Not everyone eats vanilla. Not everyone eats chocolate. And not everybody likes the WWE method. And more than that, for the wrestlers, not everyone wrestles the WWE method. So how many guys did WWE pass on over the years that thrived in places like TNA before it, AEW now? People that didn't fit the WWE mold, but we knew were great. They just weren't WWE guys. So if TNA does get bought out by WWE, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be sad. But on one hand, it does feel inevitable. And if it is inevitable, I want to be open-minded. But overall, yeah, I am more concerned than anything. And I don't like that right now. TNA feels like developmental to the developmental. But that's its own video. That'll be its own thing we talk about at some point. Right now, we're just trying to talk about Impact. But Tyler, I'm sorry if I went too far there, but thank you for bringing that up. Maria says she hates to break the bad news, but WWE is going to buy TNA in a year or two. Absolutely. I think it's unfortunately inevitable. I think it's one of those things that WWE is doing this mostly to hurt AEW and other competition. And if TNA gets gobbled up in the process and, gets spit out and chewed out, WWE doesn't really care. They are basically fracking the company for its best assets. WWE has taken Jordan Grace. WWE has taken Joe Hendry. Will be taking Joe Hendry. We know it's coming. We don't got to get into it. We know it's coming. WWE has brought over the Rascals from time to time. WWE has allowed NXT stars to win TNA World Championships. Hasn't gone the other way yet. Maybe it will, but it hasn't gone the other way yet. So for WWE, they're getting all the benefit of the best of another company. I feel like I'm crazy because every time I bring this up, I'm the minority on this and nobody seems to agree or get it. So I feel like Chicken Little. Just, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. But regardless, I just want, one, as a fan, to be able to watch as much wrestling as I can. And two, I want wrestlers to have as many opportunities as possible. I love that AEW works with New Japan. I love that AEW works with CMLL. I would hate it if AEW bought New Japan or bought CMLL. I'd hate it if Tony Khan did that. I didn't have a problem with Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor because if we're going to be unfortunately real, Ring of Honor was going out of business. If Tony Khan didn't buy it, WWE was going to buy it. So that feels a little different. But TNA, we've joked about it over the years here on the pod and just in general in the wrestling community. TNA is the cockroach of professional wrestling. You cannot kill them. They will not die. So I was really happy to see Scott D'Amore bring TNA back to relevancy, make it a hot brand again. And then when he got fired, when Gail Kim got ousted and all these changes were being made, and then the WWE partnership happened, it took so much wind out of the sails for me. But it's like I said at the start of the show tonight here on Mark It Down, here in the Gym Pack Zone, if the product is good, that's what I'm going to try to focus on. And the product was great tonight. That Fatal 4-Way was great. There were some great segments. There were some fun matchups, and they did a lot to build towards Slammiversary. So for now, that's going to have to be enough. But I'm sure I'll rant and rave a little bit more in the future. Fernando also saying Silva is a total sellout. You could tell on his face that he wants to sell to WWE. Absolutely. You got to remember, Carlos Silva is not the owner of TNA. He works for Anthem. Anthem placed Silva in that position. And it's his job to make TNA as profitable, to make TNA as appetizing to as many eyes as possible, whether it's fans or potential buyers. So while they're not straight up going to say, yeah, we want to sell TNA tomorrow, they have made it clear. We're focusing on making TNA as big a thing as possible for whatever comes next. I don't think they know what comes next, whether that's a new TV deal, whether that's a new streaming deal, whether that's being bought by WWE or someone else. I don't think TNA as we know it, as it stands now, will be the TNA that we see in a year or two, as Maria said. Tyler saying, he thinks WWE killed Major League Wrestling, their TV deal already. MLW, it's been a long, complicated journey for them with TV and with WWE. I know that they settled out of court over certain issues. I made it known. You guys know, if you've been with us for long enough, I'm not an anything fan other than a wrestling fan. I love AEW. I enjoy WWE on occasion. I love wrestling. It doesn't matter the letters. AEW, WWE, TNA, MLW. I think I said it twice. ROH, NJPW, HOG, House of Glory. It doesn't matter. I just love wrestling, and I want as many companies to thrive as possible. One, so wrestlers can get paid, and two, so if I flip the channel, I can go between channel and watch different wrestling. That's the dream. That's the dream. But WWE isn't looking to share. It doesn't want another company to be number two. They don't want a number two to exist. So, yeah, MLW got eaten up. But anyway, moving on, because I don't have much voice left. We go to some knockouts action as Jessie McKay of The Inspiration took on Heather by Elegance. I was a little taken aback because this was a quick match, very quick, where Jessie looked like she was going to win, but then the Elegance brand got involved. The Iceman distracted the referee. Cassie, Jessie's partner, Cassie Lee, took down the Iceman, but M by Elegance took that distraction to attack Jessie and gave Heather the opportunity to roll her up, and Heather still used the ropes, got the 1, 2, 3, and pinned Jessie. As Cassie comes in to check on her partner, the Elegance brand tries to attack her, but she is able to overcome and throw them out of the ring. This brings out Santino Marella, who says they are going to continue the action, as after we come back from commercial break, it will be Cassie Lee taking on M by Elegance, the other tag team champion in the Elegance brand. This match went a little bit longer, but I understood why now. The first match was so short because we basically got 2 matches in the time of one here. The finish coming as Cassie does get the win, overcoming M by Elegance, hitting her finish, 1, 2, 3. As the Elegance brand is upset what happens, they storm to the back as the Inspiration celebrate. As we have a 50-50 booking. The last one that matters is what matters, I guess, at this point. And now there is a compelling argument that the Inspiration should have a tag team title shot against the Elegance brand. We then cut to a Steve Macklin vignette where I guess they kind of touch on 9/11 a bit, which, as you guys know, today is the anniversary. TNA also did a quick in memoriam in the beginning of the show for 9/11. That was lovely. But then, Macklin, he talks about being in this for 20 years. He talks about being the line in the sand for TNA and defending it from all outsiders, defending it from all invaders, talking about defending his international championship against everyone he has so far. Matt Cardona, Jake something, Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian. I don't know if he defended against Frankie yet, but he defended against a bunch of people, and he says he is still standing and he will continue to defend that championship moving forward. We then go backstage elsewhere to the Elegance brand complaining to Santino Marella about what happened. And this was a really funny bit. This was a really funny segment as the Elegance, as the Iceman continues to complain to Santino. Santino just keeps punishing him. He brings up how that was so unfair, and that it's not fair that Masha Slamovich is going to be challenging Ash by Elegance for the Knockouts title at Victory Road. And Santino says, you know what, you're right. Let's change it. Let's make a stipulation. He makes it no DQ. This frustrates the Iceman and says, no. Ash by Elegance doesn't do that. She doesn't wrestle no DQ matches. Santino says, but she has. He said, no, that was an Elegance match, a match by Elegance. Okay, we'll make it a no DQ match by Elegance. Iceman continues to freak out. He then talks about the tag titles, saying it's not fair what just happened out there. Santino says, you're right. Let's make a tag team title match at Victory Road between the Inspiration and Heather and M by Elegance. Iceman continues to freak out. He says, what is going on here? He then says, Santino then brings out Indy Hartwell, who will be the special guest referee for another match that he made, I believe. I'm not sure if she's going to be the referee for the world title match or if she's going to be the referee for this next match, which is for Impact next week, as Masha is going to team with the Inspiration against the Elegance brand. It was just hilarious as the Elegance ladies then cover Iceman's mouth and just drag him away before he continues to make things worse, as Santino was essentially begging him to. This was funny. This was comedy done right. Going to the comments real quick. Maria saying Steve Macklin is underrated and she wants better booking for him. I agree. I agree he's very underrated. I think he's a very strong talent. But I think he's in a good spot right now, Maria. I think him being the international champion is suiting him. I would love for him to get another crack at the TNA world title, but I unfortunately don't see it happening anytime soon. So him being the first ever international champion and him having such a good run with this belt is a victory in itself, in my opinion. Maria saying God bless America for 9/11. Yeah, no, very, very lovely. Tyler saying he thinks TKO is playing Monopoly and killing the business. They don't understand how they don't understand the pro wrestling business, and they should focus on mixed martial arts only. We have a video coming out about what's going on with TKO and WWE and some of their practices. We're going to be filming that tomorrow, so stay tuned, Tyler. We'll be talking about it a little bit more, I promise, because you're not alone. And finally, Maria saying, do I think Ash was the right decision to win back the... Okay. That is a very loaded question. Great question, though, Maria. Great question. I think I think Ash by Elegance winning the Knockouts title was in some ways pretty long overdue. I think she has consistently been getting better, and she's been providing some very fun moments for the Knockouts division. And when you're working hard and you're providing quality entertainment, you deserve to be rewarded. You earn it. So her being Knockouts champion is not something I inherently have a problem with. This mess of how things happened is sort of where things kind of fall apart for me. As we know, Masha Slamovich was the Knockouts champion, and she lost the Knockouts title to NXT star JC Jane, also the NXT Women's Champion. That happened on TNA television. We then fast forward to, I believe it was only a week or two ago, probably 2 weeks ago. Ash by Elegance beats JC Jane for the TNA Knockouts Championship on NXT television. So now the questions here are why? Why and why? Why is Ash the one to do it and not Masha getting her win back? And why did it happen on NXT television and not TNA television? For me, and granted, I haven't read any reports on it. I haven't heard anything from anybody. This is me speculating. I think this is showing that WWE probably doesn't have much interest in Masha Slamovich, but they might have interest. Maybe they might have interest in bringing back Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke. And they didn't want to have a TNA name beat a WWE name for a title. They wanted somebody who WWE fans are familiar with to beat the WWE name for the TNA title. Ash by Elegance was a WWE superstar for years. Dana Brooke was a WWE superstar for years. She was an NXT star before. I think this was WWE trying to protect their brand, to protect their talent. And whether or not the Elegance brand gets brought over to WWE, like when their contracts are over, I don't know. But I think this was very tactical. And I think it further highlights some of the issues here. Especially, and we'll see it, if Masha takes the title off of Ash, we'll know for sure it was WWE didn't want Masha to beat JC. I know this is a podcast and I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, but sometimes even I know when to hold my tongue. But oofa. We'll see. Victory Road is quickly coming. But great question, Maria. Thank you for getting me to rant again. After this Elegance brand segment, we were supposed to have a match with Mike Santana. Now, Mike Santana was advertised all night as being in action. As Mike is making his entrance and he's coming out through the crowd, as he often does, we see when he's at the top of the stairs very quickly, and the lighting was great here, the camera work was great here. Very quickly, standing behind Mike is a man wearing a hoodie, zipped up all the way, covering his face. And then as he unzips, it is Trick Williams. The lights are not great here, but it works perfectly. And Mike comes down the stairs. He is attacked by Trick Williams. Trick throws him into the ringside area. He continues to beat him down before Mike's able to mount some defense, put some offense towards Trick before they are separated by security, the ring crew, everything. And this was cool. Like, they're making a thing that Trick does not want to defend this title against Mike. He does not want to defend this title, period. So him telling us all he's not going to show up on TNA until he has to, and then doing stuff like this is great heel work. So I thought this was a good segment, considering they never specified who Santana's opponent was going to be. It's not like I feel cheated that we didn't get the match that was promised. So very, very, very well done. Good job by TNA and just keeping this feud simmering. Because, again, this match is not going to be happening at Victory Road. It's going to be happening at Bound for Glory in October. So we got to stretch this out a little bit. Tyler saying that he loves Masha Slamovich. I love Masha. Masha's great. We're big fans of here at the pod. We've met her a few times. We've interviewed her once or twice. Great talent. Great champion. And TNA is lucky to have her. WWE would be lucky to have her. Quite frankly, any brand, any company that has her should count their stars for having her. And then Tyler also saying that Mike Santana versus Trick Williams is going to be good. I mean, I think that's what you're implying. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be very telling for the WWE TNA relationship. And I think it's going to be very telling for Mike Santana in general. Fans are still upset he didn't win at Slammiversary. I'm still upset he didn't win at Slammiversary. So let's just pull the trigger on this one. But we have some time until October. Finally, we get to the main event. As we have the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers taking on the Nemeth brothers. This was a fine main event. You know, I'm sorry if I'm underselling it a bit. It was a fine main event. I think I'm just not super into the Nemeth brothers. Like, I like the concept of them, but I don't know. Something is just, it's been a little hard for me to connect. I think if I watched last week the way I should have, and I saw that beat down onto like Mara Shade and the Hardys, I would have more heat right now. But the match was good. Again, it's interesting watching a babyface Eddie Edwards and a babyface Brian Myers taking on bad guys here. The finish coming as Order 4 distracts them, comes down, comes out, and Brian Myers goes for a big spear. He hits a big spear on the outside, but unfortunately, this opens the door for Eddie to get hit with a super kick on the inside, and then a danger zone from Nick. 1, 2, 3. The Nemeth brothers win. As they're celebrating, the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, come out. The Hardys, who, as I said a second ago, were dropped by the Nemeth brothers last week in a brutal fashion. The Hardys try to get into the ring, but they're being blocked off by security. Eventually, they do make their way into the ring, and the Nemeth brothers run. They hightail it, and the Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, are... Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this one spot, because after they won, the Nemeth brothers celebrate. Ryan Nemeth gets on the mic and announces they are going to be cashing in their contractually obligated Tag Team Championship rematch next week on Impact. And that's what brought the Hardys out, and the Hardys are not backing down. So now, we were talking about the Rascals. I told you, Maria, we'd get back to it. Real quick with the comments. Fernando saying he used to hate the system as a faction. Now they're growing on him. Same. It's weird, right? It's weird. For a while, I thought they were a little too oversaturated. For a while, I thought they were being pushed a little too much. But I'm really enjoying them in this Defenders of TNA role. Eddie Edwards is a TNA guy through and through. Brian Myers has found more success in TNA than he ever found in WWE. I don't care about the WrestleMania when I was there for it. It was lovely. But no, he's way more successful in TNA than he ever was in WWE. And as I've been saying, Moose is Mr. TNA. So seeing them in this spot is really cool. Tyler's saying I should watch GCW. I try. It's just, as I've said, all the companies we already watch, we already try to cover here on the pod. It's hard to add more stuff. But when there's a big show, we try to watch. And if there's a big show coming up, let me know. We'll try to cover it here on the pod. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter the letters. We love wrestling. Maria saying Order 4 are excellent. Ali is doing the best work of his career. They're killing it right now. They're killing it right now. All 4 of them, Mustafa, the Great Hands, Tasha Steeles, Agent Zero. Not sure how I feel about him yet. They're a unit right now. They're a unit. This is a group you could make Mustafa a world champion with. So, and the Great Hands are just, sorry, they're great. They are. Hotch is great. Skylar's great. And I've always been a fan of Tasha Steeles. So just good stuff for this group. And yeah. Tyler saying he can't watch until MLW pay-per-view and GCW show. Gosh, I mean, like I said, let me know what's coming up. And you did. Biggest upcoming show for GCW is in October. All right, I'll try to watch it. I'll try to keep things going, and maybe we'll cover it here on the pod. October is a busy month for us, but I think we could do it. But all right, guys, that was Impact. That was TNA. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Marie also saying GCW is great. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I sound the way I sound, but you guys gave me the energy to talk for almost an hour. So thank you. You guys know the deal by now. If you're one of our regulars, like Maria, like Fernando, Tyler, you're quickly becoming one of the gang. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We're doing our best to have some fun, and I think we are all having fun here every week. So thank you. If you're new and you're watching us for the first time, I don't know what brought you here, but thank you for checking us out. We would love for you to stick with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Mark It Down Pod family. And you guys know the deal too. If you don't just love us here, if you're not already subscribed to us, subscribe to us here. But if you want more of us, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on X, we're on Blue Sky, we're everywhere. So check us out. We have lots of fun, and more fun is coming. I promise. Again, it's always so hard. I feel like I'm constantly teasing you guys, but good big stuff is coming. So the more of you guys there are, the more fun we can have. But guys, thank you. My name is James Gisanti. This is the Mark It Down podcast, and it's Thursday night. You know what that means. This is the Gym Pack Zone. So as always, watch wrestling. As always, watch TNA. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.